Hey everybody, this is Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violins. So today's featured violin is the Vitacek Master Series. So all the Vitaceks, as you may have noticed by perusing the website, all the Vitaceks are nice violins. They're all meant for, advanced players, right? So we have a wide variety of people who are playing them. They could be semi-professionals, they could be advanced players in high school, it could be people going into college, or it could be, really advanced players who used to play and they want to get back to violin. There's a lot of different variation there, but there are people who have the ability or aspire to have the ability someday of being able to explore every nuance of a piece of music. Right? So when you have a violin like the Vitacek Master Series or the Soloist Series, when you have a really nice set of strings on there, you're able to create different tonalities, different colors in your playing. You've got a wide dynamic range that you can take advantage of, because the instruments, they can do it, right? So if you need to play that double forte on your G string, if you need to play a whole section, on one string, you're playing Ravel or whatever it is, you can do that with this type of violin. So I'll just talk about some of the characteristics about the Master Series really quick. So the Master Series represents obviously one of the very best violins that are available in the Vitacek line. So what does that mean? Well, it means that the wood is going to be extremely select, right? It's going to be some of the best wood that you could possibly get for a violin. It means that the finish is going to be extremely nice. It means that the maker has spent a lot of time applying by hand this European oil finish, and it's going to be a very nice thickness, so the instrument is going to be allowed to resonate, but it's also going to make the instrument look, really, really beautiful. So you can see, for example, this particular one, it's got a one-piece back. It's got this AAA maple with really choice, flame on the back, just a gorgeous instrument. Same with the sides. It's just nice to look at. And the top, of course, is going to be really select top grain spruce that's been aged for, a long time, sometimes decades, really. So it's just great wood. So I'll talk about the fittings a little bit. So the fittings, of course, are going to be the highest quality ebony fittings, the pegs, the fingerboard, and the chin rest. Those are wear items, so it's really important that you have high quality ebony. And the tailpiece, now the tailpiece on this particular violin has 4 built-in fine tuners, but a lot of times, we will send them out with a tailpiece that has 1 fine tuner. But regardless, if you have a specific need for a violin, you just let us know. So if you want 1 fine tuner on the E, whether it's ball end or loop end, you just let us know, no extra cost, we'll put that in there. If you want 4 built-in fine tuners, then we'll do that. Right? Doesn't make any difference to us because here at Kennedy Violins, we do the final assembly and setup in Washington State, right? So it's not done overseas or something like that. We want to control the quality of the setup because the setup is really, really important. But we also want to make sure that the capacity, the potential of that instrument is used up as much as possible. So every instrument has a certain potential. When you have a proper setup, not only will the instrument be easier to play, but the potential of that instrument will be maximized as much as possible. Plus, it also gives us the opportunity to customize the instrument if you want, right? Maybe you want a different chin rest, maybe you want a different tailpiece, whatever the case may be, right? So we can do that. And we set them up right before we send them out. So it's going to be fresh, right? It's not, because a lot of violins, especially when you buy them online, maybe they were set up, who knows when, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I don't know, overseas somewhere. Then they put them in a container ship, they ship them across the ocean, they go in a warehouse, and they get shipped again, and then they're back to your warehouse. And so you don't want that situation. You want your violin set up right before you receive it, and you want it customized to you if you have particular ideas of what you want. Okay, so just talk about the setup a little bit. Setup is mostly the bridge and the pegs and the fingerboard. Right, the surfaces you touch, right? In this case, the Vitaceks have a Aubert, a French Aubert bridge, right? World renowned. Everybody knows the Aubert bridges. They represent the best quality bridges you can get. So we customize this bridge for your violin, right? We make sure that those feet are carved just right to let the sound through, right? And it fits the top of your violin. The curvature of that bridge is just right. So the string crossings are easier, the double stops are easier, the string spacing is correct, right? The string height is really important. So no matter what position you're in, Those notes are easy to play. And of course, we spend a lot of time planing the fingerboard. So your double stops are, well, they have a higher probability of being in tune. Whether they are or not, well, that's up to you and how much time you spend in the practice room, right? But fifths in particular, right? If you practice fifths are tough to get in tune. If you have a fingerboard that is planed properly, those fifths are going to be easier to get in tune, even going up third, fourth, fifth position, right? So it's really important to have a really proper setup. So we spend a lot of time on the pegs, so the pegs work really well, so the violin's easy to tune, and most importantly, it stays in tune, right? Okay, so the Vitaceks, they also come as a full outfit. So you get a rosin, a bow, and a case. And the case in particular, it's a professional quality case, full suspension, full oblong. So you got storage for everything that you could possibly want to put in your case, including sheet music, and it provides the best protection you could possibly have, for your violin, right? Why not? You spend a lot of money on it, might as well protect it, right? So that about covers the basics for the Vitacek. But if you're trying to decide between the Vitacek or the Zubak or the Master Series versus the Soloist, I highly recommend you participate in the in-home trial program, right? Basically you're just paying for shipping, and we'll send 2 instruments out. So you can get those 2 instruments, play them to your heart's content, play them for a month and a half, just play them, and very quickly the violin that you love will reveal itself to you. And you'll be like, oh, this is my violin, right? So you got to play the violins in, get to know them, but you'll find that violin that you want, and it's a very inexpensive, there's no barrier to entry on that program. It's a great program, and a lot of our advanced players, they participate in that, take advantage of that. So if you guys have any questions, don't forget that, here at Kennedy Violins, we're all players and teachers, right? This is what we do. We play. A lot of us play professionally here locally. Most of us teach. So we know these instruments intimately. So let us know how you want your instrument set up, if you want it different than how it is on the website. And let us know what your particular situation is, how long you've been playing, what you want an instrument. Do you want a bright instrument, dark instrument, big sound, mellow sound, complex sound, sweet sound, whatever you want. You let us know, and we'll match you up to the violin that you want. So with that, I'll bid you guys adieu, and I hope you guys have a great day.